Hey gang, Primal Punch here. Just real quick, want to do a little video. I've done a video before on wrapping, but there still seems to be some confusion for wrapping your steel bender's helper, and this is in particular about wrapping it for more or less leverage. Okay, so you've just gotten your steel bender's helper, all right, and you only had the money to get yourself one model, and you wanted to make sure you didn't get something that was too easy. You wanted something that would be a challenge, but you also want to be able to get those full reps. Okay, so here's how your progression is going to look. This is the sub-intermediate, and when you first get it, you find that you're unable to close it when you have it wrapped just about all the way in. You will move your wraps out, alright? And there's a natural curve to it. Whichever way you want to bend it, go ahead and line up the edge of your wrap on the bottom. Now, you want to have leverage, alright? So, instead of your hand, your pinky lining up with the end of the steel bender's helper, you're going to line your pinky up with the end of the wrap. Alright? We're going to use these wraps for leverage. Now remember, you can adjust to move these simply by, hold on a second, let me just tighten this up. Get the rubber band on. You can loosen the wraps by turning against the wrap. That loosens it, scooch it out, turn it back toward the wrap to tighten it back up. Alright? So we've got now leverage. Okay? So what it looks like when you're bending without leverage, you've got your wraps moved all the way in, your hands would be in here like this, okay? So we're bending without any leverage, okay? But when you have that extra leverage, it's now, the end of the steel bender's helper is now actually contacting your hand rather than in here. It's contacting up here, which gives you more leverage. You're now applying the force further out on the piece. So it's less pounds of force, and it allows you to get that full range of motion. Now, once you hit 10 reps that way, scooch it in. Less leverage than you had before, you see? Now and then. So you can get these different levels of resistance within the same piece, and it's now significantly more difficult. And when you get to 10 reps that way, move them in a little more. You know, when you're able to do 10 consecutive solid reps, move them in. Now, you could do the ladder technique using just a single piece by doing this. Alright? So, we do our ladder technique where we're climbing a ladder of resistance, okay? So, it's low resistance first. We do our reps, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we go to the higher resistance. Alright? So we scooch those wraps in, less resistance. We do our reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Scooch them in and continue doing that. Okay? Until you get to that point where you're unable to do 10. Now you do to failure. Alright? Significantly more difficult. Significantly. I mean, like, alright? So, that's your ladder technique. You move up and down this ladder of resistance, okay? And I recommend doing your first sets, okay, as you move through the different resistances of the ladder. Do those with a set amount, 10 or 5, okay? And that's going to serve as an extra warm-up to wake up the muscle fibers and everything like that, get your joints lubricated like that. And then once you hit that higher level, go to failure, and then back down the ladder to failure, back up the ladder to failure, and then do a cool down. Your last time coming down the ladder, do a fixed amount, and then to failure on the lowest, easiest. Okay? So that's it. It's that simple. Alright? The closer together the wraps are, the more difficult it will be for you to bend, because we're lining our hands up with the wraps. Alright? So we line our hands up with the wraps, and the further apart our hands are, the easier it will be to bend it. The further apart the wraps, because we're still lining up with the wraps. Alright? Much easier. Leverage. Even easier. Okay? So that's how you utilize your wraps for leverage. If say you've got a beginning model and that's gotten where it's just getting easier and easier, move your hands in closer to get that little bit more resistance, okay? And if you've ordered yourself a piece that you're like, oh my god, I'm not able to do what I thought I was going to be able to do, well, move your wraps out. And if it's one that you can't do, here's what I did, and this is how I was able to bend the sub-advanced and the advanced. I do my reps, okay, with the easier resistance, and I use the ladder technique. Now on my goal steel benders helpers, my reps are sets of partial reps to failure. And what that is like when I started with the advanced, I can move it like that much right there. Oh, that's it. So as I'm working my way up, I eventually was able to close the fully bend the sub-advanced, and it was by using the same technique. I incorporated it into my ladder training, and at the peak, the hardest resistance, it was my goal bar on which I would do partial reps, okay, and I would do that a set till failure. And how that might look is like this. I'm able to bend it this far, and I will do those as far as I can take it until I can't even kink it, alright, to failure. Or I also did holds, take it as far as I could and just fight against it and make it force my arms back out. So it was, dynamic isometrics, a moving isometric. Very, very excellent workout. And it allowed me now, I closed the advanced 9 times. Alright? It's you'll build strength very quickly if you're willing to do the work. Alright? Do the work. That's what it comes down to, okay? The tool is only as good as your willingness to wield it, okay? So do the work. And you'll be slamming down that weight just before you even know it. Now today, I actually want to see what kind of carryover there is, because my sole workout for 2 months now has been the Steel Bender's Helper. And I want to see if there's any carryover at all to bench press. The last time I bench pressed was around Christmas time. I got the video up when my friend John Pope sent me that awesome baby inch dumbbell. So I'm going to get the weightlifting equipment out and everything and see what I'm able to do. Last time I bench pressed, I was having a struggle. I think I was only able to do like 12 reps at 150, or maybe 15 reps. So let's see where we're at. Alright, because at one point last summer I got up where I actually was able to struggle up 260 pounds, but that was because I was only doing resistance workout. That was my whole workout. So I want to see now what kind of carryover there is from the Steel Bender's Helper workout. So live free, punch hard, and bend hard. And I'll see you in a minute, alright?